So in the life of a developer, there is something which I really hate, which is called repetition. This is basically where you do the same thing over and over again. So to give you an example, if you're building a system and you have so many models, these particular models, you have to do CRUD for each and every model, and this is a lot of work. I know we have some AI that you can be able to just give it instruction, you just copy paste that code. Now, what if we take it a step further? So instead of doing this now, what if now we incorporate this in our code, that we have a code generator whereby if I have a model, maybe an example user model. Now, if I type user and then I click on generate, all the braid associated with this particular user will be created automatically. Also the routes, also the models, the migration, all these things. If you're using something like Laravel, something like Django, or something like even Next.js, so this could make the work easier. Now let's see what I've done here. So thank you. Hello everyone. So if you're using React or using something like Next.js, or maybe using Django or maybe Laravel, there is something which is common and it's very boring. This is CRUD. So basically this is where you create, read, update, and also delete. Yeah, so basically you have to code this particular logic one by one. Now, I don't like that, and that's why I created this particular tool. So basically what happens here is that if you have a specific model, let's say a car, and then you have some specific fields that you want to be in that particular car. So what you do is that you just put them in a JSON, as you can see from here. And just by doing that, you can be able to hit generate CRUD. So basically what will happen once you do this, a route will be created, all the braids will be created, all the models, all the migrations will be created, and all this will happen at one particular second. Let's see that in action. So I have this particular model which I'll call maybe student. Yeah, so just like that. And then it's possible also to define relationships, as you can see from here. Like we have a single relationship, a user ID, which have a relation with user model. So basically, so I have student, and then I'll just be able to generate like that. So just like that, we can see that the CRUD for student have been generated. So let's see that in code. So if I open web right now, so and then I go at the end there, you can see we have this particular route which have been added. Something else that have been added is something called student controller. So basically this is where the logic for CRUD is. As you can see, we have the index, we have the create, which render the braid create. We have the store that stores that particular form once you submit. And then you have show that shows once you go to view. And then we have edit that render the edit braid. And finally, we have the update that updates that particular resource. And also we have destroy. Now let's see. If I go to resources again, and then I go to view, I can be able to see that we have something called student, and we have the create braid, edit, index, and also we have that particular show. Yeah, so let's see that in practice, in action. So if I go to student, I'll copy that, and then I'm running the server. As you can see, it's up. So I have, I will come here and I will change the endpoint. Instead of going to generator there, I'll go to student. And just like that, we see we can be able now to add a student. So let's try to do that. I'll say we have James, okay, there we go. And then I'll select the user to be me, and then I'll select an image. So let's say we have this particular logo, and then I say insert. So when I say save, we can see that is saved. If I say edit, I can be able to edit this and say TikTok there, and then I say update. So you can see it's updated. Also, I can be able to delete that. So again, if I go to the dev tools here, we can create something else. So let's say teacher is our model here, and then instead of having a single image, let's try to have like two images. So I'll come here, and then I'll say this one is maybe image 2, and then I'll put a comma there because this is JSON, and then once I do that, I'll be able to hit generate CRUD. Just like that, the CRUD have been generated. So once again, if I come here, I can see the route is here, and it's possible also now to put it under your middlewares. So right now you see it's created outside the middleware, but you can be able to move it up there. So let me show you what happened there. So there is this controller again for teachers. If I go to teachers, you can see that. And again, if I go to views, let's try to go to views. So I go to views, we can be able to see we have teachers, we have all the braids here. Again, once again, let's try to visit this particular route. So I copy it, and then I go here, and then I'll be able to paste it here. Let me do that. So like that, and just like that, we can say we have image and image 2. So let's try to add that. So I'll say maybe my name again there, and then I'll select a random user, and then I'll select the first image. I'll use the same image that we had used earlier, and then lastly we have that, and then I hit on save. And just like that is saved. Again, you can be able to view and so far and so forth. Yeah, so basically the system simplifies the process of doing CRUD, because I really hate doing CRUD because I feel it's always a repetition. So basically this is a summary of what we have done. We have generated full CRUD model. We have added the Fira. I think I haven't shown you that. I can show you. So if I go like to the teacher model, here it is. You can see that even the relationship was defined here automatically, and so far and so forth. So just to show you the controller which is doing that. So basically this is the generate one. So I'm using JSON to, I'm verifying that, and then I'm trimming that. So from the JSON I'm extracting those particular fields, and then after that I generate the model plus the migration plus the controller. As you can see from here, I'm using the name that was provided from the model. After that I'm updating the migration with the fields and the table, and then I'm running the migration automatically from here. I'm also writing the resource controller now with the methods, and also I'm getting some configs from what I have from my system. I'm also updating with Firable. Also, I'm writing all the views. There are four of them, and finally, I'm appending the route in this particular path, route web.php. There we go. And just like that, I have the helper methods, as you can see from here, which contains some breaks which are automatically created, which I cannot be able to cover right now. But if you request so, I'll be able to go through that very quickly. So thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Yes.